Thanks to everyone for joining us here today. Thanks for everyone out there watching on Facebook Live. We wanted to come together today to talk about something that as we're on the campaign trail, no matter where we go, it just keeps coming up. When we listen to voters, tell us what their concerns are, tell us what is important to them, one thing just keeps coming up. Whether we're in Northeast Arkansas or the Delta, Central Arkansas, or up in Fayetteville at Springdale Rogers. And that's the issue of inflation and price gouging. Now, what you may not realize is that there are things that our elected officials can be doing right now to help citizens of Arkansas to put some ease on the burden on their wallets. These are real kitchen table issues that we're dealing with. These are things that our elected officials and leaders in this state are choosing not to do. Now, you may not realize that under Arkansas law, if there's a declaration of emergency, the Attorney General's office has broad discretion in chasing price gougers and prosecuting price gougers under the Arkansas Deceptive Trade Practices Act. Now, this discretion from the governor's office about a declaration of emergency is also very, very broad in scope. It allows him to declare an emergency based on natural events or on man-made disasters. And let me assure you, the one disaster, the one emergency that we hear all across the state is inflation and price gouging. We hear stories all the time, folks sitting around the kitchen table discussing whether they need to pay their rent or buy groceries. We hear people all the time talking about whether they purchase their prescription drugs or shoes for their kids. We hear all the time about people having to make these hard decisions about who they buy things for, what they buy, and how they operate their daily life. Now, a month ago, you couldn't find a gallon of gas for under $5. We were in Piggott just a few weeks ago, and we met a family restaurant owner who's having trouble buying just milk, bread, eggs, and just the basic staples so that he can serve his customers. We met a family on the square in Russellville a few weeks ago. They're having to make a decision as to which of their 3 kids gets new shoes for this fall as we head back to school. We met a farmer down in DeShay County who's having to make hard decisions about what he puts on his fields and how he feeds his animals, because things are just more expensive than they should be. Now, are there market forces at play here regarding inflation, which is at a 40-year high? Of course. But there's also issues of price gouging run rampant across our state. BP alone, last quarter, had record profits of $8.5 billion. Reports out today that the 3 oil companies, last quarter alone, pocketed $70 billion. There's more going on with the prices of things that we buy every day than just regular inflation. Arkansas law prohibits price gouging in this way. After that declaration of emergency by the governor's office, a provider of goods cannot charge more than 10% the pre-declaration price. Again, the scope of the law is broad, and it applies to all of the things that we might need in our day-to-day lives: food, fuel, water, electricity, all of the things that we need to operate in our daily life. Now, the only way that the Attorney General can hold these folks accountable is through the Deceptive Trade Practices Act and after this declaration of emergency. So here's the question. Where is Leslie Rutledge on this issue? Why is she not camped out in front of the governor's office telling him that the real emergency, the real issue that people are facing right now are these prices, high prices that they can't afford? Why is she not doing all that she can do to get out there and to make sure that the prices that people pay for goods they need every day are affordable? Where is my opponent, Tim Griffin? Where has he been? He has an office on the same floor of the Capitol as the governor. Has he been to the governor's office to tell him that people out there are hurting, that people out there need help, that people out there need assistance? Has he gone and done anything? No. He's been missing on this issue, just like he's been missing on every other issue. Missing Griffin has not done what it takes to stand up to the people of Arkansas who the prices are killing them every time they go to the store. He's not gone out to the people of Arkansas to campaign for a job he doesn't seem to want, for a job that he doesn't seem to care about, for something that he doesn't seem to want to fix. As your Attorney General, I vow to do everything in my power to influence the governor to declare a state of emergency so that that immediate weapon that the Attorney General's office has to go after price gougers using the Deceptive Trade Practices Act is put into effect. I also vow to do one thing that our current Attorney General has not done. There were reports in the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette this week that her office has spent $3.3 million this fiscal year alone on radio and television ads. She claims they're for public service announcements, but what we know is that they are for one thing and one thing only, to build name recognition for her electoral purposes. That's why, as your Attorney General, I vow to institute a 30, 60, or 90-day moratorium in election years of any public service announcements, just so that we can avoid the appearance of impropriety. The people of Arkansas deserve to trust their Attorney General. What erodes at that trust is utilizing your tax dollars, utilizing funds that would go into the state coffers to further her own political goals, and it's got to stop. Inflation is the worst as it's been in 40 years. Where has the Attorney General been? Where has my opponent, Tim Griffin, been? They have been nowhere. I urge them to get out from this building, out from the Capitol, and actually meet people where they are and to learn what they're really struggling with. As AG, I can assure you I'll always be a good steward of your money. I won't use it for political purposes, and I promise to always go after price gougers and people that are taking advantage of economic situations for their own profit. We need your help. You can go to JesseGibsonForArkansas.com. We can make things better for Arkansas. We can put people over profit, service over self. We can put all of these things at the forefront of an administration, but we need your help. We need your help to help our campaign, to tell a friend, to spread it on social media, and to join our campaign. Thanks so much. I'd be happy to take any brief questions.